the McMichael, the Activate McMichael funds to the Activate McMichael folks who have now merged with the Friends of McMichael Park. So that amount of money that we were holding for them has been removed from our accounts and has gone to them. Other than that, I think we're about the same, but maybe Joe will join us before the end and we will know and share with you where we are financially. So I will move from that and go to, yes, Scott, you have a question?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I could talk a little bit of membership. Since August, we've had 61 new members who have donated just a little over $1,800. So.
That is wonderful.
Good news.
Just a reminder, if there is anyone who is on this Zoom who happens to also be a member of committees or sit on executive and you perhaps have forgotten to renew your membership, you might want to do that if there were someone who's done that. All right, we will go to Hillary and he will share with us a zoning update.
Okay, can you share, let me share a screen?
I can. Hold on one second. And you should be able to share your screen now.
I don't know if this smells good anymore.
Okay, let's make sure I pick the right screen here. It could be dangerous. Okay, can you see this okay?
Don't see anything yet. Two others? Oh, there we are. Yes.
Okay. All right, so you're looking at my screen. I'm going to run down through the projects very quickly that are in application.
Can you make it bigger, wider on the screen?
Thank you.
How's that?
As wide as you can make it across your screen would be really helpful.
This is
For
crazy.
these old eyes. Thank you.
It's a big screen too.
Well, I know, but my computer screen isn't that big.
You've got to get a computer bigger than a matchbox.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Right. So, yeah, 3504 Ainsley. There's some new owners at 3504. These homes have 50 to 60 feet between them. They are proposing, I am going to change screens. This is Ainsley Street. There are 10 twins built in 1874. They have pretty much remained intact until today. There's been a couple of them, there's been an unfortunate addition on the corner here, but for the most part, they're pretty well preserved. There are new owners who now own 3504 and the lot up to 3510. They're proposing to build 2 homes in there, which don't quite make it under RSA 3. So we organized some meetings with the neighbors on site, and I just want to change the picture again. As you can see, it's a unique street within East Falls. There's good distance between the twins, plenty of trees, and they're proposing to put 2 homes right here. So we had 16 immediate neighbors and 26 total neighbors came to the site meeting, and their consensus, their resolution is they want to oppose this project. The buildings are not historically certified, and obviously they're going to start working on that. But in 146 years, believe it or not, this has not come up. So the neighbors are sticking together, and they are standing their ground, and they want us as the coordinating RCO to oppose the project along with them. So the hearing last week was continued. They hired an attorney at the 11th hour the night before, obviously I think to strengthen their case, and we do not know the date of the new hearing. They have worked pretty hard, I'm going to say it, to improve their buildings. And I don't have the possession of the rendering, but they actually added a mansard on the return side. But the neighbors are resolute in opposing this project. 3549 Sunnyside, we actually did already have a meeting on this, but there were not sufficient notifications distributed to neighbors. About half of the mandated notifications were distributed, so we've had to hold another meeting with the full notifications. So this hearing will be continued also. We don't have another date, but we're going to quickly run through this project again on November 17th. All the neighbors who've attended to date are in support of this project, and it is to basically put in a residential unit, which would be a fourth in this building in place of this commercial unit here that has never been rented or leased as a commercial space. So they do have the support of the community, but the wider community has to attend the meeting before they can go to the zoning board. Also, we did meet on 3743 Midvale. There is there's strong community support for this project, and there will be their hearing is on December the 15th. So we'll be supporting them. They do need to give us some new drawings showing how they're going to light the upper deck and what they're proposing for a shelter for the deck occupants. They are proposing that everyone will be off the deck by 9:45, 10 o'clock at night. So that is looks like it's something that'll be supported and will be a good addition to Midvale. The next project, 3570 Calumet, we are going to have a meeting also on the 17th of November. This project you're looking at here is the result of collaboration between Argo Development, David Ross, and concerned neighbors. And so the conversation has vacillated between providing 22 parking spaces up here for 3515 Midvale Avenue, which we'll just look at a little bit later. Residents are not too happy about the idea of 22 cars coming and going on their street, and they would rather see townhomes. So Argo are proposing 3 townhomes with parking in rear, with also accommodations for 12 parking spaces in the back for 3515 Midvale. Okay, next I do want to report on 4401 Ridge Avenue. This is the original rendering by a TAPCO viewed from Ridge Avenue. We went through the CDR process. Actually, this was their second rendering. On this one, they did add some balconies. This is some concessions they made after the CDR, and which suddenly showed up at the first zoning hearing. They are appealing the refusal for construction on steep slope. We're representing, as a coordinating RCO, the immediate neighbors affected by this development, who feel it's too high next to 2-story buildings. It brings 200 cars up Merrick Street. It's going to be adding congestion onto Ridge Avenue. A lot of concerns held by local residents. So as the RCO, we oppose this through the zoning process. Through the CDR process and running out of time and a continuance, we had a final meeting on October 19th at 9:30, in which Paul Boney, representing the neighbors and the RCO, made our pitch. We only had an hour, so we had to be quick. And they did finally vote November 3rd. The ZBA voted 3-1 in favor of the developer's proposal. So as far as the zoning board is concerned, this project is a goer, and pending an appeal,
Which I feel.
they would be able to proceed and get their construction permits. However, during the presentation,
Should we put it on? But I'll throw 'em
we did offer up some alternatives, which kind of matched some other TAPCO developments and the neighboring 50-unit building on Ridge. What we wanted to indicate was you can build quite well on the site without disturbing steep slope. You can put trees, create a natural environment, and you can have at least 70 units with parking on site where you can look out both sides of your unit.
he said you
So obviously, following the NCA, half of this lower block is required to be retail. So
we're watching
constructing on this long block here, the retail strip would actually lengthen down Ridge Avenue, and we feel would have some connectivity down to the Howe Group development, which would otherwise be stranded and isolated down by the 76 turn. However, the zoning board approved their project, and so as a zoning committee, we've been looking at the issue of appealing the decision. So we've been polling the zoning committee, which right now comprises 12 people, and we've had a lot of discussion over a lot of meetings, a lot of email. And the decision right now within the zoning committee is that 8-4, we do not appeal the project. That's the recommendation of the zoning
That guy gonna be
committee.
mad?
Yes.
So
Raise his hand. So, excuse me, I got something to say.
it's been a lot of work right now, and that everyone has really good reasons for support.
We fought the good
And,
fight.
people have reasons not to go forward with an appeal, which are equally valid. So what I suggest is that, we can have a meeting, a one agenda meeting with residents, with zoning committee, because this leaves 120 people stranded up in phase 1 in Hilltop without a way forward right now to continue this development. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just see if anyone right now, as we've gone through all these things, has any questions for you before we talk about whether or not there's further action on
Mhm.
any questions or comments thus far in the zoning committee
Come
report.
on, baby, don't disappoint.
Oh, this is the,
Roxanne, did I see you unmute for a moment?
No.
Okay, sorry. All right, I see a comment in the chat from Meg. Meg, do you want to share anything or say anything?
Use all.
Yes, I will say this, apart from the merits of the appeal and the needs of the immediate community, if we do not pursue this appeal, we will be at the mercy of every developer. We will lose all credibility,
This is all
and we
credibility.
will get trumped upon.
You're Muffin Meg.
The community organizations that are effective, assert themselves, are willing to go out and push for what their neighbors need.
Money.
And if we fail to appeal this, we can forget it. There is no point in having a zoning committee,
Oh, sorry.
which is one of the principal reasons for community council. That's why the first vice president is automatically chairs that committee. It is extremely important that this neighborhood maintain its credibility and its power over its future. And we will lose that if we drop this appeal. And I am appalled at the suggestion that we not
That's
appeal.
all I have to say.
If
Numbers,
it's
traffic,
just,
parking.
and furthermore, since community council
No, Meg,
took
drop
the
it.
role and took the lead on the zoning matter and did not engage as additional parties, the neighbors who were going to be affected, they may no longer, and I'm not sure, we would have to ask our lawyer, but nobody else may have a right at this point to take that appeal if community council does not. So it's
Meg,
really-
we have spoken to the attorney. The neighbors could continue on. And I want to say, you know, Hillary mentioned, we engaged an attorney at the expense of $10,000, which we really couldn't afford as community council, to get us through the first phase of this.
May I
and-
comment
and-
on that, Emily?
Oh, I absolutely, Meg, give me just a moment. So we engaged an attorney that got us through the ZBA process in the hopes that by engaging an attorney, it would strengthen our ability to counteract this development, and it would also strengthen our case should we determine that we had to go further. We knew all along that we were somewhat fighting an uphill battle. There's a tendency for ZBA decisions to very much favor, no matter what, the developers. So we had a lot of careful discussions between the executive committee and between zoning about what our responsibility is as an RCO and whether or not we could financially afford to continue this battle. I will say, if there is a strong desire on the part of anyone here to make a motion that we reconsider that and put that to a larger vote, we will absolutely hold, I think, a special meeting just to talk about that. My suggestion is we do it very quickly, within the next week or two, so that if there is a consensus and people and the community members, if community council membership votes that they want to continue this, you know, it's something we can explore. Although I will say that whatever we choose to do, we will circle back around when we finish this to Joe, who will give us our financial report and let us know what kind of a position we're in to be able to do that. Because, you know, a year and a half of COVID has meant we have had none of our usual fundraising activities. And so while it's fantastic we have new members paying dues, that still doesn't quite amount to the total expense. So I put that out there. Meg, I know you had something further you wanted to add.
Yes, and that's with respect to fundraising. There has been absolutely none done by community council, not individuals, because some of us have stepped up to the plate and some of us have talked.
Absolutely.
But I think it is disingenuous to say we can't afford to do something when we have done nothing. And I am not on executive committee, but the executive committee and council has done nothing to try to raise the money that it took to pay Paul Bonney for the first level. We knew 99% we were going to lose that. We have done nothing to try to raise money for the next level, and that destroys our credibility. And the developers are aware of that. Who are we kidding to say we don't have the money in pocket?
So Meg, are you in a position, or Meg, are you wanting to make a motion that we reconsider this?
Yes, I'd make a motion that we reconsider it, and I think that if community council is not willing to stand up for the community and what it needs and go the full distance, then community council is no longer worth
Tag him
talking.
in, tag him in.
Okay, Meg, that's a rather negative accusation, but Meg, just stop for a second, okay? It's like your opinion is you're not, let's stop. Your opinion is not unique, okay? It is shared. I second your motion, okay?
Just like Smokey
I second your motion that we have another meeting,
Not emotion. Oh, okay.
all right?
All right, folks.
Make the motion, you seconded it, we now vote.
Yeah, what I'm going to ask is I've got a lot of people here who don't have their cameras engaged. Either use in the chat feature, use the hand raise, or put up your hand and engage and let us know. Should we continue? There's a motion on the floor that we hold a special meeting and allow the community to weigh in on whether or not we continue to take legal action on 4401 Ridge. All those in favor?
Meg,
Keep your hands.
If Hillary took down his sharing so that you would be better able to see the participants.
Yeah, actually, Hillary, can we kill the share screen? Can you kill your
Okay,
screen?
yeah, you got it.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Everyone in favor, raise your hands again, either in real life or raise them, if you're using the hand raise, and give me a second to count.
Of course you are.
All right, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. All right, I am counting 9 in favor. All right, everyone put your hands down. Anyone opposed to us continuing with this?
Michelle, yeah.
Make sure you've lowered your hands if you were on the first one, and if you oppose us continuing.
You're saying continuing the discussion, right?
Continuing, yes, going forward and having another meeting to look at this. Anyone opposed to that?
Scott's opposed?
All right.
How you doing, Scott?
Got a count of 1. All right, a special meeting will be held. I think it's a zoning meeting, but Hillary and I will get together, figure out, get a notification out in our e-blast within the next 2 weeks to hold this meeting. I do also want to say, Meg was very critical of fundraising efforts. I think Meg is probably in a position to know, because I know at some point she served on executive and served in this role. It's a tremendous amount of work to do the things that we have done. And I think that I can't emphasize enough how much time that I know that Hillary has put into zoning matters, zoning efforts, fighting this legal battle. So I am not going to criticize our capacity to take on more than is already being done. And what I'm going to say is, if the community members feel strongly about this, and if they are willing to put up their time and their financial resources, we will absolutely support that. But we as executive and we as the zoning committee cannot just in and of ourselves fight this battle. It's a big one. And if community members want to, we will be right there with them, and we will facilitate as much as possible. But it is something that folks are going to have to really step up to, and it may take more activity than simply signing a petition. It's going to take some real time and some financial commitment. And I know there's many on this Zoom right now who have given a lot of their time and have also given money, and we're very grateful for that. It's going to take more than who's on this call.
Got it. Let's continue this next time.
Yeah. Any other questions or things about zoning, any of the other zoning matters that were raised? Chris?
Yeah, two things. The first one, which is real quick. Those houses at Lower Ainsley, 35-4, et cetera, twins, it's my understanding, I never researched it, but it's my understanding they were built for the Centennial Exhibition in 1876, which would make sense if they were built in 1874. And they were boarding houses for people coming to visit the Centennial Exhibition, and then later changed into homes. So they actually have a lot of history to them. And it's kind of surprising they haven't been structured yet.
Incorrect.
Hillary, my question to you is, with the zoning board making their decision and the and the East Falls Community Council Zoning Committee, would I be correct in saying neither one of those decisions went or had anything to do with the agreement between the PHA and the community with that density? It was, those decisions were removed from that.
Welcome late guy.
The way I can talk about that is that those agreements were presented. The city plan was presented. The fact that neighbors who lived in the original developments that were demolished were part of meetings that promised that all three parts of the site would be low density. So phase 3 comes along, PHA sells it for $3.2 million, and quite a few years ago, HUD absolved PHA of the requirement of 30 units in low density on site. No one caught it. No one caught it and fought it. So that was presented to the zoning board, and it is being, that is still being kept alive.
But
As a separate issue.
You actually need to fight that as a separate action.
It was clearly a steep slope zoning issue. ZBA, we tried to present as much as we could about the history of that site and the promises that were made. ZBA continued to respond back that all that was under their purview was to make a decision on the zoning variance, and the zoning variance was steep slopes. And I will also say that with regard to steep slopes, I don't,
Bill's going to his
my personal non-legal opinion, having sat through the hearing, I did not feel, we actually made a fairly compelling case against them granting the variance with regard to steep slope in and of that, and I don't know that if that was really fairly considered by ZBA. I don't feel that it was. That's just my own perspective. I feel as if they kind of had their minds made up long before we ever presented.
Okay, I'm not going to argue this issue with you, Meg, but the letters have been written and we have them. But, you know, as far as the steep slope is concerned, I see new steep slope construction all over the city. I mean, it's, they granted, can I finish this?
Well, I don't want to go into a steep slope. We've gone through all those different. We've got a lot more to cover than zoning.
No, I know. I just want to run through a couple projects here, a couple of highlights. That's it.
Oh, projects in addition that we haven't heard from yet?
Yeah, just stuff that's underway.
Okay. Are these things that are going to be considered in the upcoming?
No, they're very quick.
Zero.
Okay.
That's all you need to know. Zero. Yeah, Scott May is a bit subversive.
All right. See that?
I do appreciate that.
I appreciate this.
Okay, so are you seeing it yet?
Yes, we see something, a building of some kind.
So this is what was approved. This is the project under construction right now, Calumet and Ridge and Kelly. This is the project that was approved in the CDR, and this is the one they're building right here. So sometimes what you see and what you're expecting in the CDR is not what gets built. So this apparently is what's coming with Grasso here. The other project currently under construction is the Howe Group, where they've actually put a retail frontage along the whole front where there's actually no connection, a very weak walkable connection to the balance of the retail in East Falls. But they're well underway here with their basement, and we're going to go up 5 floors above retail here. So you'll be seeing some above ground structure. This is 3515, which is also, they've pretty much completed all the subterranean here. And you're going to start to see some above ground structure appearing. The Bolton Vine is right in here, behind this banner. And where you see the gas station right here, this is where this building is. They've cleared the site, they have their construction permits. and we'll be seeing these two buildings, which are by right construction, CMX 2.5, which is residential above retail, no requirement for parking on site. We'll be seeing these two projects probably within a year complete on Midvale. So plenty of stuff happening.
What's the address of the last one?
This one is 3515.
Right. That's
Here, this is 3503.
3503. Okay, thanks.
Bill's taking notes. Well, thank you for not eating, Bill.
All right, that's the end of my report.
Hillary, thank you so much. Any other questions that have to do with that zoning? Yes, no, no. I am going to roll us back to Joe because I saw him join us, who it will share. Joe, I think you, yeah, you are unmuted.
Yeah, I'm here.
And Joe will share with us our financial report.
Unfortunately, I got a new computer last week, and I'm trying to get QuickBooks over there and have trouble. So nothing's really, I don't have any updated figures from last month.
Okay.
So we essentially have $13,000, $13,374 from last month that is unallocated. Okay. That's the best I do. Sorry about that, but I tried to bring over QuickBooks and I'm having trouble. Now the old computer is not responding. So.
Well, I'm proud of you that you got a new computer. Yeah, that's good.
Yes, yes. Well, it was long overdue, but I would just like to say that, you know, throughout this process, there were only a few people that gave money for to fight this, and I didn't see any money coming from any of the near neighbors where this project's taking place. So I don't know what they must, I don't guess they're not that concerned. I'm not sure. Anyway, enough said.
Yeah, Joe.
I think, well, listen, that can be part of the conversation we have when we have a special meeting about this. So, I am not seeing Patty on this call. Patty Roque is our new events chair, but I am going to share with you guys that we are definitely having a candlelight carol sing in McMichael Park on Wednesday, December 15th. So we're excited to bring back some of our holiday traditions and, you know, maybe start to see the end of COVID, maybe. I don't know. All the details aren't resolved, and also to say that we're going to be having some further conversations about a few other potential holiday events that might be happening in December. So I would say stay tuned. We're hoping to get things nailed down enough that you'll see it in the next East Falls Now, and also just, you know, stay attuned to the weekly updates about that so that we can kind of do some getting together and celebrating and festivities in the winter months. We did membership, we did zoning, we did events. So I am going to ask really quickly before I move on to our guest speakers. I'm going to ask if Michelle has any update from EFDC, anything exciting going on there, other than what's going on.
I'll just be really quick and give everyone an update on the East Falls River landing. So we are in the midst of completing the remediation from Ida. So Parks and Recreation has been incredibly helpful, and actually we are working with them to remove the silt that was still there. And then we are hoping that maybe some of you would love to join us for Love Your Park Day on the 20th of November at 10 a.m., where we'll be completely finishing the site. So Parks and Recreation is taking out the remaining silt and bringing it back to their recycling center in West Philly. We expect that will be done in time for Love Your Park on the 20th, at which point we'll be putting, with some amazing volunteers, some new topsoil and seeding. And we'll be able to completely do sort of like a soft open of the site with hopefully a ribbon cutting in the warmer months. So that's our river landing update. And besides the fact that we are now in week 6 of our commercial quarter cleaning program. So you should see our cleaning ambassadors every weekday from 8 to 10 a.m. Along Ridge and Midvale and up on Conrad as well. We'll keep you posted if we change any of the hours. But for right now, that's their schedule, and we're excited that that has been going so well.
Michelle, any updates on are all the businesses that were, had to close because of Ida reopened? Is anyone still doing cleanup?
Yeah, so in Riva, is still doing cleanup. Majors is still doing cleanup. And we have to check back in about the post office. I expect the post office to open up this month, but we will check back in on that just to make sure. And we're trying to be as helpful as we can, both in Riva and Majors. The daycare right by the baby house was also closed. But those are the major ones that we're aware of at this point that haven't reopened yet and been able to.
Thank you for that. And I will mention, I know, I think John is with us, but the green sale will be happening as another holiday event at Vault and Vine. I think information is in the now about the dates of that. And if anybody's interested in volunteering to help receive trees when they arrive, that would be really wonderful. It's a chance to fundraise for the library. And with that, I am going to, we have two guests with us. I see Drew's on the call and I see Namor's on the call from the Philadelphia Fire Department. I'm going to start off maybe with Drew and give us a little update on the library being reopened. Drew, if you're with us.
Hi everyone.
I can't see you, but I can.
Can everybody hear me all right?
We can hear you.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Drew Burden. I'm the branch manager at the Falls Library here at 3501 Midvale. I appreciate the opportunity for being able to plug some of the library services. I'm just going to talk about our hours. Mention the fact that we have reopened as of August 23rd, and then I'm going to mention a new program that the library is engaging that I want to share with all of you. And in doing that, I'm going to assign everybody a little bit of homework tonight. So just from the top, we are open again. We're open 5 days a week, and our hours are Monday and Wednesday are our late nights, and we're open from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday and Thursdays, we're open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Fridays, we're open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Currently, we have full service as best as that we can offer. You can come in and check out books, DVDs, audio books, large print books, and we also have hold services. So if there are books that you're interested in and that we don't have them at the library, you can order them through our website, freelibrary.org, and have them sent here for pickup. Additionally, we also have an interlibrary loan service. So if the city of Philadelphia does not own the book that you're looking for, we can actually contact another library system somewhere in the country or somewhere in the world and have books sent here through our interlibrary loan program. Feel free to talk to me more about that if you have any questions. Some of the other services that we offer, I wanted to make a plug for myself for reference questions, not your standard reference questions, but lately folks have been asking me to do brief amounts of research on various topics, such as charitable organizations, local figures in Philadelphia, and anything that might come to mind. But if you have a reference question that's a little bit more involved, please feel free to email me at burdend@freelibrary.org and describe your question, and I'll be happy to go to work for you to try to do some brief amounts of research for whatever it is you might need. I also wanted to make a plug for our children's librarian, Miss Meredith. The holidays are coming up, and she asked me to share with you all that she, around this time of year, she gets questions about buying books for children. So if you have any young people in your lives that are interested in books, please feel free to pick her brain. She knows what's hot, she knows what's popular, and her reader advisory skills are awesome. So she would be happy to help you out and give you advice for books that you might be interested in purchasing for gifts around in the holiday season. I also want to mention that we have an SBA center downstairs. This is a temporary pop-up location for the Small Business Association. Earlier, IDA was mentioned. The SBA is providing disaster relief funds for homeowners and small businesses. And if you have anybody that's been affected by Hurricane Ida that needs to apply for a loan, please feel free to stop in. Their hours are going to match our hours of operation. So that's Monday and Wednesday, the late nights, 12 to 8, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 to 6, and then Friday, 10 to 5. Occasionally, FEMA is present in the office, but the schedule is very inconsistent. And if you want to know if FEMA is present, feel free to give us a call at 215-685-2093, and we can be happy to tell you if FEMA is in the building. Lastly, okay, here comes the homework part that I wanted to share with all of you. We have a new program that I want to announce, and this is actually pretty exciting. Unfortunately, everybody listening to this automatically does not apply for what I'm about to mention, but this is something I want you to share with anybody who you think it may apply to. But the Emergency Connectivity Fund has made funds available to schools and libraries to help support remote learning. The Free Library is using these funds to loan Wi-Fi hotspots and LTE tablets to patrons who would otherwise lack sufficient connectivity access to devices, meaning if you don't have internet access at home or don't own a computer, you can borrow a tablet or a hotspot. And this is actually a big deal and something that the library is very proud to participate in. And I'm really excited about this as a librarian because it addresses issues with the digital divide. But if you know anybody who does not have any type of computer at home or internet access, this is a chance for them to come into the library and pick up a hotspot or a tablet. You have to be eligible to participate in this program. There's a few things. So you have to be 18 or older, you have to be a Philadelphia resident, and you must lack access to broadband internet or computers at home. If you are a member of the EBB program, those participants qualify for tablets only. And right now we have an interest form. So if you know anybody who might be interested, you have to have a library card, come in, sign up, and once the program starts, we'll contact you and let you know. Tablets are going to be available on a first-come, first-served basis. And the great part about the tablets and the hotspots is that once they're checked out, there's no return date, which means that the tablets will be the participants to keep. It becomes their personal property. We're not going to be asking for these tablets back. They are going to come with internet access provided by T-Mobile, and that access will expire, I believe, in July of 2022. And after that, the tablets will be theirs to keep. If they wish to contact T-Mobile and keep service going, then that's great. But it will come with free internet access, unlimited data until July of 2022, which is pretty exciting. So the homework I wanted to ask is just for you to keep this in mind. Please share it with anybody who you think might qualify and send them to us. We're going to have about 50 tablets and hotspots ready to check out, and we're excited for that. If there are any questions, please let me know.
Drew, I would ask you after this call, I want to connect you up with Bill Epstein, who puts together our paper, because what you just shared seems like that would make for a really great article for a December paper, so that Bill can get all the details from you again and be able to put that in. I think I see him nodding. So yeah, it looks like he's agreeing with me, even though he's muted. Does anyone have any questions about the library programs? Roxanne?
Yes, thank you for that information, Drew. When is the start date for the tablets?
At this time, I do not have a specific start date. We are just collecting interest right now. Finding out who may be interested and who may qualify. I don't have a hard date for this, but I believe it's going to be happening in the next few months or early next year.
Okay.
Any other questions? That's kind of awesome. Thank you so much, Drew. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. We're shutting down, so I'm going to log out. But thank you, everyone. Please stop by soon. Good to be here.
Thank you. All right, we have joining us from the Philadelphia Fire Department, I see him there,
No introduction.
and he's going to share some fire safety tips. I don't know if you were on the call earlier. I cracked jokes about deep fried turkeys and Christmas lights, but I think there's probably some other things that you might want to be able to share with the community.
So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the invite. My name is Lima Brown. I'm with the fire department. I've been on for 18 years. And right now, I'm in the fire prevention division. So, this is the type of the start of the season where people start putting on the heaters, and they start using the oven. So, we want to make sure that our heaters have pilots, that the pilots are lit, because sometimes they'll go off during the summertime. You don't want gas filling up in your basement. So if you do smell gas, you know, call 911 and the fire department. And
I love how John's thing just has the
It's a stage.
but show of hands, who
I
has
almost want to do
working
that
smoke
myself.
detector?
Just leave ours like that.
Yeah, it's like a
So,
tableau. It says so much.
Says, oh,
I love my
Who
niece.
still
Before
changes
he's
the
on the dial-up
batteries in
connection,
the
he's all
smoke
green.
detector?
He's just
Yeah.
like, she can just see him scratch his head, but he's...
He's so funny.
Okay, so that's 6 people. So your smoke detectors, unless they are hardwired, are old smoke detectors, right? So how the smoke detectors work, they have a little bit of radiation inside of them. They also detect heat and smoke.
Totally.
They usually, if you read the manufacturer, so each smoke detector, depending on which one you buy, a manufacturer can have 100 of them, right? They usually last around 7 to 10 years. So if we've been giving out 10-year lithium battery smoke detectors going on 12 years. So if you're still putting 9 volts in your batteries, 9-volt batteries in your detectors, you have very old detectors.
Actually, we don't. I just bought one from Home Depot.
So we don't hand out smoke detectors anymore. The process of that is called in 311, and we will install the smoke detectors for you. Unfortunately, right now, with COVID, we're not going inside people's houses. Hopefully that gets lifted soon. And we just worked on another grant, so we have another 20,000 smoke detectors coming into the city.
Ideally, you'd want to have them.
And we got that from a FEMA grant. So we'll have the smoke detectors. It's just getting clear to come out and put them in people's homes.
As we found out when they did our steak.
All right. So does anybody have a carbon monoxide detector?
Oh, I've got one. We've got one.
Yes.
Okay. So the same thing with the smoke detector is a carbon monoxide detector. So anything that you plug into the wall or anything that uses an electrical current will go bad after a while. So you want to make sure that the carbon monoxide smoke detectors, your surge protectors, anything like that you're looking at them, right? And you shouldn't have one for 15, 20 years. You need to recycle those things and change them out. If you look at them, they should have UL listings on them because they're built at a better standing. So do we know? So carbon monoxide, right? It happens in the city, but it's not like it's Pittsburgh or Harrisburg where that comes from the underground a lot. The best way to describe it is when you turn on your stove, you see the blue teeth, the circle of all the stove when you turn on the blue teeth, right? We've seen that before. When you turn the stove on, the blue circle, right? So if you look at that blue circle, if you're missing any of the little flames, that means you're missing teeth. That's what's going to add to the carbon monoxide in your house. So if you figure your heater is way bigger than your stove, right? So if you're missing any of those teeth when you turn your heaters on, that's what's going to make a buildup of carbon monoxide inside your house. So when you go start turning on your heaters, make sure that all the teeth turn on. Same thing with your stove, same thing with your pilots. Just make sure that teeth, those blue flames, go all the way around. It could be simple as just cleaning it out, right? Or getting someone licensed to come out and service your unit. Any questions on that?
No. I think you've
pretty much nailed
it. You've nailed it.
You good with that carbon monoxide? Yes, no, maybe? Yes, okay.
Crowd goes wild. Oh, there's
So another question. Who here sleeps with the bedroom doors closed? we should see a whole bunch of hands with the bedroom doors closed, right? So having a working smoke detector is going to provide an extra 12 minutes, and having your bedroom, a bedroom door closed, will provide extra 15 minutes of that fire not entering your house, entering your room, right? So, make sure with the 311, you at least signed up, so when we start the process of coming back out, we'll come out and install one smoke detector on every level of your home.
No, you got color on.
Okay?
This was.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. We also have space heaters. I know this is the time we're going to start using space heaters. So the space heaters, they should be plugged straight into the wall. Right? You should not plug space heaters into
No, we did the different,
extension cords or power or surge protectors or anything like that. Space heaters should go straight into the wall, and space heaters need 3 feet all the way around.
She has some good questions.
So if you have a space heater and you're putting it in a place where you don't have the 3 feet, or you're using an extension cord, you have to change that, right? And if you use an extension cord, that is the weakest point of electricity in your house.
It's not perfect, because it's not right down the middle, but.
So, any questions on the space heater? You're good? Okay. So, now the deep fried turkeys, right? If you're gonna fry a deep fried turkey,
Defrost it.
make sure it's not frozen, first of all. And then you have to account for the weight of the turkey going into the fryer. Because what happens if you fill it to the top and now you drop a 15-pound turkey in the fryer, all that oil comes out.
Delicious.
And if you put in a frozen turkey, the turkey will explode. So there's 2 things that we gotta look out for. So make sure that the turkey is thawed out before you put it in. And then 2, make sure that when you put the turkey in, that the oil doesn't overflow. And you want to do this outside. You're not deep frying in your kitchen or your living room.
Why not? This guy's crazy.
Yes.
Taking away my freedoms.
Any other questions? Oh, your Christmas trees. Make sure when you buy your Christmas tree, if you're buying a real tree, that you saw off the end of it and put it in water. And then water it from, once a week.
Once a week? Put some aspirin in there too.
Make sure you buy that tree from the green sale.
Good one.
In support of the library.
Yeah.
So if you live in East Falls, you gotta buy your tree in East Falls.
Have you heard of this? We have a fire protection department at my office, and
Fire detection?
we had some emails going around. There's something you can put in your Christmas tree water to make it fire retardant. I can't remember what it is offhand. Is that something you know off the top of your head?
So they have all types of different things out there. If your Christmas tree has never gone, caught on fire with just regular water, I wouldn't add anything else to the Christmas tree.
Yeah, dumbass.
If you just water it, right? Like that's for people who are not going to water it, who are going to wait 3 weeks to water it and have tons of lights on it. If you cut it, because I can tell you a million things, but to add more cost to your budget doesn't make sense. If you just follow the recommendations of just cutting water once a week, you'll be fine. You're not having a tree up for 3 months.
Raise my hand and tell them it was a good idea.
Right? So there's going to be, people are going to try to sell you everything. But if you water the tree and take it down by the,
It's like a mullet curtain. I just want him covered up here.
Valentine's Day comes down,
Right
right?
here, when he comes to my hands in the sink.
Mark.
So I have a question. That's funny. Valentine's Day. Some people keep it up longer than that, but the artificial trees. Every season they're decorating. My question is there a website for the fire safety rules and process?
Do you have short-term memory?
So the short answer is no. But if you go, right. So we've been working on that website. Like, don't rat me out, right? But we've been working on the website forever. But if you go to OEM, right, Office of Emergency Management, and they should be Ready PA or Ready Phila
All
PA.
of this
I'll find out tomorrow
fucking
I'll send the
newsletter
email.
blurb, you fucking
So that way you
retards.
guys have it. They also have a good program where they'll come out, again, I'm not sure about the COVID, right? But they'll come out and, so does everybody know what a go bag is?
Yeah, it's the thing you grab before you head out.
Right, so a go bag is what you need per person per day to survive in an emergency. OEM has a program.
Good luck.
I think you need at least eight people to do the program. They'll come out 5 times. So they can come out once a week. And when they're done, they'll show you what a go bag is, and they'll give everyone there a go bag who participated.
Like, what would your go bag be?
So think about, like, you know, how many family members that we have that have medication that have to be refrigerated and things like that. So they're going to show you how to handle those things, and then in the go bag will be enough water for a day, a poncho, enough food for the day. So if you have a family of 4, you have to start looking at how much supplies you're going to need to dress up for that.
I'm in fucking trouble.
Dude, I'm giving up.
This is like a nuclear strike, is what I'm guessing.
Like, I'm curling up in a ball and I'm just.
But I will, the other website that you can go on to is FEMA.gov. And they have a ton of stuff on it that's free and you can download.
I don't know.
And there's also a program on there where you can become a student.
I got a
and then you
fucking
can take some
backpack
of
of
the
water
FEMA
and
courses
some gruel
online
that can
for
last
free.
me like 3 more days of hell before I expire. Great, thanks.
Emily, maybe we can have the OEM as a guest sometime in the future.
Like, what is it?
Yeah,
If
I'll
that's
send
not,
that to
it's
you.
Armageddon.
I'll
If
send
I
it,
can't get
the
my,
information.
if I can't get the basics.
And I, it was suggested, and I think it's a great idea, Bill. I'm sure you might have taken some notes, but maybe we can do a little fire safety tips and hints in our next paper.
You weirdo!
Are you now an associate editor?
Yeah, and I can connect you up with Memore so that he can, if you've got, you know, want to clarify any details or something. So I think that's a great idea.
Oh, great idea.
Anyone else have any questions?
Any other ideas for the paper?
I wanted to do this because I know, I confess that there are smoke detectors in my house that I think are working right now. I have carbon monoxide detectors, but I can't really figure out where I'm supposed to install them. So I have them, but I don't install them.
I'll help you with the carbon monoxide detector, right? So if
Yeah,
you,
where should those go?
if you buy the ones that just plug into the wall, and then just plug them into the wall. So we're so used to like putting things on the ceiling that some of us can't reach the ceiling anymore, right? So make it easier for yourself. There's a bunch that, so all of them are going to have a battery. So that way if the power goes out in your apartment or house, that the carbon monoxide will still go off, right? The detector still works. You can buy the ones that plug right into the wall and just plug them right into the wall. Make your life so much easier.
That is a good tip.
So, I didn't hear you say anything about electric stoves because, we don't have gas stoves. We have electric stoves in my community.
It's time to move. No, I'm on the plane. So the stoves are fine, right? So depending on how old the stove is, because the newer one, there's temperature settings that will turn off automatically. If you leave it, like, say you turn the pilot on, right? It's not a pilot, but you know, you turn it on and walk away. It'll reach a certain temperature and then automatically shut off because it doesn't feel the pop on the stove, and it'll turn off after a while. So depending how old your stove is, you're gonna get different features, you know, the newer.
Oh, I gotta tell Colin and get your information. He just gave you your information, dipshit.
So
you're recording it. You're
too,
literally,
so
when you sign
we have,
on, it says you're recording
25
it.
fire
Like,
vests in
just
the city of
fucking use
Philadelphia.
that, idiot.
Right now, that's a little over 2 a month, right? So please, you know, make sure you look at your smoke detectors.
And he actually looked pissed off, to be honest. I don't think he likes to be told what to cover. I'm gonna bet that he's actually not gonna
remember
cover
we all
it.
did an escape plan in school, right?
I
And
think
we
that
all
was
do
it.
one
Like,
at
he
work.
kind of gave like a
When was
weird
the last
look.
time anybody here did one at home? Right? If you think about the 25 deaths that we had this year, they all died at home. No one died at the movie theater. No one died at work, right? These are 25 deaths that happened in the city of Philadelphia to residents that were at home. So, we're giving out smoke detectors. So one question I'm always asked is, the city does not provide smoke detectors. So that is something that we are always looking for funding. Kidda, Home Depot, Channel 6, and Toyota, they give the city 25,000 smoke detectors every single year. And then we, as a department, we continue to find funding. We write grants to FEMA and things like that. So we're always looking for smoke detectors. So we have them, especially, it's going to be kind of, so once COVID is over, or we're allowed to get back to some type of normalcy, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be different, and there's going to be a rush or a wait on things, right? But get your name and your family members on that list, because once it opens back up, we're going to be calling you and setting up appointments to come out and put the smoke detectors absolutely free for you. Oh, I'm sorry, too. The other thing we have is we have smoke detectors for the hard of hearing. So if you know anybody who's hard of hearing, who's deaf, who, when you go visit them, you're hearing the TV on the outside of the house, because they're not going to tell you that they're hard of hearing, right? We have detectors that are, again, absolutely free. You just need to be a resident of the city of Philadelphia. They will come out and put them in for you. And what it does is it looks like an alarm clock, and there's a piece that we put under the mattress. And when it hears a smoke detector within 50 feet of your house, it'll shake that piece, and that piece will shake the bed for you. And I'll let you know in English and Spanish if there's a fire. So those are absolutely free too. So again, that number is 311, and tell them that you need an adaptive alarm or for a hard of hearing alarm, and they will sign you up for that too. And then again, once COVID is over, we're going to be coming out and installing free smoke detectors.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I did this because about 10 years ago, I was sitting at home one day and I got a knock on the door, and our local firemen were just walking up and down streets and doing inspections and installing smoke detectors. So they came in my house and looked at the ones I had, and some of them weren't in good locations, and put them in what the right location should be, and all those kind of things. So those are all really wonderful services. Any questions? Any of you guys have anything else?
So one last
hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Hello? Yes. The only question, I guess, is to you, the chair, is that hopefully next year, we can schedule this the same type of meeting for October. I believe October is Fire Prevention Month. And that way we can do this annually. So we can book him now, because he may be on the tour come next year in October. But we can book him, and we can lock this down also. It's always good to have that pre-plan like you talked about. It seems like we never do that. So we need to have that. It's very, very important. And one thing, I got on this call kind of late. I'm pretty sure you probably said that as well, as that never go back. Never go back into a burning building. And it's a shame that we had 25 deaths, or 24, I didn't know the exact number, deaths. And some of them could be prevented if they had a pre-plan. So it's very, very important. So I truly appreciate you taking time out and sharing with our community, because it's so important. And that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Again, thank you guys for the invite. But when you look at the smoke detectors, right, the ones that are in your house right now, are they white, or are they turning off white? Are they turning yellow? If they're turning yellow, right, you gotta understand when the manufacturers make smoke detectors, most ceilings are white, so they're gonna make the smoke detector white. What happens over time, there's a tint in it that starts turning yellow, so it becomes an eyesore. So when you walk in a building or you walk inside your house now, you notice the eyesore, which is the yellow smoke detector, right? And it says, wow, that thing looks old. So that's another way to understand, hey, my smoke detector is a little older, because they don't make them in designer colors. They make them white for a reason, so that after time, they start turning yellow, and you start noticing, and you say, hey, maybe I need to check this thing. And another thing, when the smoke detector beeps, it's telling you there's a problem with it. So when you hear the beep, and it goes, and a minute later it beeps again, So it's either that it needs a battery or the system itself is going bad.
Thank you so much for all of that. And Ray, I think that's, I definitely planned on having this happen once a year. I didn't realize that October was Fire Prevention Month, so now we know what's going to be on our October agenda of October of 22. So at least I have one meeting planned for next year. I see Patty, our events chair, did join us, and Patty, I shared that we will have a carol sing. We didn't have all the details yet, but we know that's happening. I don't know if there's any additional update you wanted to provide on any event stuff, or maybe a call to see if anyone else wants to get involved. It's really, really fun planning community events. You want to do that?
That last part is super important. Super important. Because we've got a really small planning committee, so if you know somebody or if you personally are interested in helping out, you know, the workload may seem a little heavy right now because we've got a December 15th event, so save the date, right, for December 15th and the Candlelight Carol Sing. But for 2022, right, we'll have plenty of time to make sure that we deliver on, you know, three major events and perhaps actually engage some of our community and get some of their feedback in some type of survey. So I think the save the date on December 15th is really the key message for right now. We want to absolutely make sure that we sort of pay tribute and honor some of the traditions that we've had in the community. But we also realize we might look and feel a little bit different just based on the fact that we're still in a pandemic situation with COVID. That's all.
All right. Okay, I want to thank you all. I really appreciate my thanks to our guest speakers. We all know how to keep our houses a little bit safer this holiday season, and we are going to go to the library and get, I don't know, books and DVDs, and tell people they can go there and get tablets and hotspots, which is a really, really awesome program, which I think is amazing. So definitely share that with any of your neighbors who you think would benefit from it. We will not have a community council meeting next month because it is December and it's the holidays, but stay tuned because we may potentially, we may potentially have a, we're trying to see if we can do an additional holiday thing in a next month instead of the party. You know that in years past, pre-COVID, we were having community parties. So we're working on something. So check out your weekly updates. Check out East Falls Now. Hopefully by the time December's issue comes out, you'll have some news about what will happen in lieu of next month's holiday party. Otherwise, we'll see you all back in January of 2022. And stay tuned because that meeting might just actually be live and in person in addition to being on Zoom. So stay tuned for updates on that as well. And I think questions, Meg asked about agendas being posted. We're working on getting our agendas out there sooner for the meetings. So I'll keep you all posted. I haven't planned anything for January yet.
Why aren't we in person now?
Just because there still were some concerns when we first thought about going back to in person. That was when the Delta variant started kicking off, and really just ensuring and waiting until the venues that we've used in the past were once again available to have in-person meetings. So wanted to get to a place where we felt like there was enough a critical mass of folks who are vaccinated, and being sure that we were sort of past the worst part of COVID. I will say that I think having the meetings on Zoom makes for convenience for a lot of people. So our hope is that when we go back to in-person that we'll actually offer a hybrid meeting, so that we can still, you know, especially when we go back in January and February, we all know the weather sometimes can be a little unpleasant to leave our houses, so that we'll have options. But I look forward to seeing you all in person. And if not, I will see you all December 15th when we will sing Christmas carols. Yay.
Nah.
Ray, you don't want to sing. Okay. Ray,
I sing solo.
Ray Ray has obviously heard me sing before, and he's horrified by the thought of hearing me sing again. The nice thing is we usually get a big enough crowd that my voice is drowned out, so it's fine. It's fine.
That's okay. Noise canceling headphones work.
Thank you all for being here tonight. Have a good rest of your week. Stay tuned for updates about our special zoning meeting and also the upcoming zoning meeting. And we'll see you all over the holidays.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Recording stopped.
Okie dokie.